And now, after that nice introduction, let's make a vegan dish. So, vegans do not consume anything of animal origin at all. I've taken the time to come up with a dish. I hope you'll like it, my dear vegans. So let's see how we'll prepare it, a beautiful pumpkin. Look how pretty it is. Gorgeous. We need 1 slice for 1 plate. Zero waste, we'll roast this and use it up. We'll put parchment paper here. I deliberately tore off a bit more paper to show you something. Now, since the paper is sticking out like that, we'll throw it away. I'm kidding, of course. Now we can shape it however we want. Let's put 1 piece of pumpkin. Marco, do you want some too? Marco does, so we'll put 2. We'll leave a little space here for the mushrooms. And now we put it in the oven to bake. We oiled it, but I didn't add any seasoning. Now I'll put aluminum foil over it. I'm going to bake it to 200 degrees Celsius. We put the foil on because I want steam to form. So we're literally steaming and baking at the same time. Then when it's cooked, I'll remove the foil so it browns nicely. We'll remove the aluminum foil when we add the mushrooms. And then we'll put it back in the oven to bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's check how our zucchini and beets are progressing. I tried them a little earlier, they were hard. Here, they've been baking now for about an hour. You see, it hasn't browned, but it's slightly soft. Now we'll take off the foil and finish baking them without the foil, to brown a little more, but we'll also put a few mushrooms beside them. I'll take the mushrooms and lightly brush them with oil so they roast more nicely. I want the mushrooms to keep their original shape, so I'm not frying them in a pan. Instead, I'll roast them like this. And then I'll serve and garnish the plate in that original form. And now we'll add a bit, since we haven't seasoned it. Now we'll lightly salt everything. And a little of this dry spice mix on the zucchini. I think it will give a nice aroma. Let's put it back for about 15 minutes so the mushrooms can cook and the zucchini can brown. In the meantime, we'll fry a couple of whole mushrooms here in the pan. I also want them to keep their shape, so I'll try to serve them that way. But first I'll toast some hazelnuts in the pan so they release their aromatic oils. So the hazelnut aroma comes through nicely, and then I'll roughly chop them. And that will also be part of the accompaniment on this plate. The hazelnuts have browned nicely and released their essential oils. Now we'll add to the pan a little oil, this time olive oil. And we'll add the mushrooms. Now, like this, we flip our mushrooms. There's no need to cook them for long. I'm just letting them brown a bit like this, and they're already done. Now we're going to fry this spinach of ours. This is young spinach, in English we call it baby spinach. It actually means small spinach leaves. Olive oil, a slightly larger amount. And into the hot pan now, just half a minute to sauté the spinach. A little salt, a little pepper. After half a minute, the spinach is done. We preserved all of its vitamins and minerals, all of its nutritional values. Let's see how the zucchini are doing, and these vegetables in the oven. A few more minutes. I think our vegetables are done now. It looks nice. And now we'll move on to serving. How we serve it is really up to your imagination. It depends on what you've pictured in your head, and then you start playing, so to speak, like a painter with a canvas. We'll place this spinach here, to make it look like grass. See, nicely roasted beet. Now we're playing with mushrooms. Here's what I imagined, the mushrooms standing there like this, as if they're growing, out of this moss, somewhere in a forest or a meadow. Of course it depends on the species of mushroom, but we want this to evoke a natural setting. And we leave this too, zero waste, it's edible and crunchy, and full of minerals, like these husks, they'll add a crunchy element to our squash. Now we'll enrich it a bit like this, and the overall quality of this dish. Let's add some more crunchy elements, this should suggest some kind of stones, that's how I imagine it. So everything like this, grass, a bit of soil, and some stones, and everything that grows in the forest, and we can add more, then a leaf from some herb. Here, like this beautiful basil. And our dish is ready to eat. Here, our vegan dish is ready, meaning all plant-based ingredients nicely combined. There were a few types of heat treatment, from baking to frying. Basically, we try to preserve as much as possible of the natural elements and nutrients in each ingredient, and I believe every vegan will truly enjoy this, as I imagine it, in our forest story. Enjoy!